welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to talk about music today. I didn't become a goth or hadn't even heard of gothic music until 1995. When I was a kid and a teenager, I was more of a hard rock fan with some
glam
rock mixed in. I grew up in a series of small Illinois towns. Most of their radio stations were hard rock or classic rock. The biggest city that I lived close to was actually 4 small cities right next to each other called the Quad Cities. They had Kick 104, which played mostly hard rock, and they had 97X that played more metal and classic rock, and Power 98.9, which was where you got to hear your 80s pop and your 80s new wave music.
I'm just going to quick show what that jingle sound is. The kittens are playing down here with the ball. That's what you are hearing in the background is kittens having a fun time. All right, Galen, carry on.
Our kittens are very cute. Every minute of every day.
But right now they are not silent.
So anyway, then I moved to Chicago in with my older brother to find work, where I ended up working at Motorola. And I came across someone at a hobby store who was a goth, and she became my elder goth, teaching me the ways of the goth in downtown Chicago. She introduced me to Susie, Bauhaus, and Sisters of Mercy. I later found a bunch more music on my own in the part of town that I moved into, which was the old punk area of town. All of the stores where you could find the music and the clothing, the boots, the coats, all that kind of stuff. So, I just wanted to explain how I transitioned from hard rock and new wave to goth and dark wave and industrial music. It was a really big adjustment for me to get used to an all new kind of music, but I loved the nightclubs so much. The music made me dance in a way that made me feel graceful, which is kind of weird, but so the first goth night I went to was run by a DJ named Scary Lady Sarah. Then there was a time where she moved her night to a different nightclub, and most of my friends had the same feeling as I did, that the new Nocturna didn't have the same feel as the original one did at Neo. So a lot of my friends stopped coming on Tuesday nights. And since I didn't have any other good friends in the community yet. I didn't have anyone to hang out with, so I stopped going on Tuesday nights. The new Nocturne was at a bar called Smart Bar, which was in the basement of the Metro Theater on Clark Street. And then one of my friends started a goth night at a bar called Crowbar, and he really knew what my music style was because his wife was the owner of a record store that I frequented quite a lot. So it was when I started going to that goth night, which was called Post Mortem, that I met one of my first girlfriends as an adult. It was one of those things where there's one girl named Amy that I had a thing for, and she kind of went like this, sit here and move this other girl in front of me. She used her as a shield, so I would leave her alone, I guess. And it worked. We started dating, and her friend and I started dating, and then her friend moved in with me, which is where things went bad. We ended up breaking up. Anyway, off the topic of music, sorry. I was a bigger fan of most of the bands that had more flowy music with angelic style vocals, like the best band ever, Cocktail Twins. I was a big fan of Cocktail Twins and Bel Canto. Shimmering Warm and Bright by Bel Canto was my favorite goth song when I lived there. It still kind of is. But Bluebell Knoll by Cocktail Twins almost beats it out. On the first concert I went to was Def Leppard on their Hysteria tour. It was at the Carver Hawkeye Arena at University of Iowa. I have my older brother Rich to thank for taking me to that concert. But my Def Leppard fandom I got from my first friend in Dixon, Illinois, Rich Morgan, who I am still sort of in contact with via email, but he lives in Washington State, so I don't get to see him anymore. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments if you want me to elaborate more on goth music.